Hi folks. So, camera's a little bit odd. I'm missing a camera, and I've got new toys have just arrived, and I needed to do an unboxing video so that I could show you the stuff and start using it. So I've set this camera up, kind of a pie in the sky, nice view of the desk where we're going to be actually looking at the toys, and you can see me. Obviously, it's important to me. Right. Okay. So without further ado. The box. So what did I order? A microphone. So this is not just a microphone, there's a few other bits in here as well related to the microphone. It's not even the entire setup. There's another bit down here I'm going to get once we've done with this box. And I've also got another bit due on Friday. So I'll do an addendum to this, or I can finish this video on Friday once the extra bit has arrived. But in the meantime, let's get this one open, shall we, and have a look inside. So I took a lesson from previous videos, or video, and the camera is stable. Elsewhere, it's recording the cutting of the sellotape with a key. And it's a key, I don't care if it breaks, so careful. If you use keys to open things, don't use a key you want, because it'll be that time that the key snaps or something really hideous. And sellotape versus key? No, can't possibly. Oh look, there it is, it snaps. Right, here we go. And be a little bit careful sliding across there in case you hit something you shouldn't. So, somewhere in here. Where's the middle? Aha. Right, okay, I've butchered that box trying to get it open. Crikey. Apologies, box. Imagine what I'm like at Christmas, can't you? Paper. This is what I ordered, really. Paper. Not really. Okay, so, paper. Let's get rid of paper. Put that somewhere so that it catches fire later. Right. First thing we've got is dual layer pop filter. It's one of these disc things. Clamps onto the microphone stand. That's what's down there. And let's open it out of the polythene. Yeah, so there's the pop filter. So essentially, what pop filters are for is, especially with the word pop, there's these sounds called plosives, which are things like p or b or anything like that would create an explosion of air out of your mouth. And I guess they call them plosives because no one wants to admit that you've got explosives in your audio. So yes, so these things are called plosives, and the idea is that you have this pop filter which you attach, and it goes between your mouth and the microphone so that any explosions of air, the plosives, get caught by the filter. The sound makes it through clearly. It's only this is nice actually. It's only very lightweight. It's very thin material, but it's enough to catch the air but let the sound go through. So you don't get all of those harsh p sounds that you normally do get. It also comes with this rather swizzy bracket. Come on, get out. Stop being difficult. There you go. So got an arm that we can shape around here. That's good. It's got a clamp on the bottom here. Let me just hold that up so you can see it's got a clamp, and the idea is that the clamp will hopefully hold on to the thing, and then I can put the pop filter wherever the pop filter needs to be. Let's get that put on. Doesn't need to be too tight. So that's the pop filter. So far so good. Put that down there for the moment, and just put this packaging back together. What does it say? Getting that perfect take is always hard, but you just hate it when you set everything up correctly. Recorded the perfect take, then listen back to hear your vocal volume has peaked, distorted, or there are too many s or doof sounds. The Studio Series dual layer pop filter can make every single recording perfect. Really? It's going to make my voice sound better, is it? What does a pop filter do? A pop filter, sometimes also called a pop shield, creates an anti-pop protection for all audio recordings. Recording studios all over the world use our pop filters, an essential tool when recording. They serve to reduce and eliminate popping sounds caused by fast-moving air whilst you speak or sing. I prefer saying explosive air, personally, but if you've recorded yourself singing or speaking before, you'll sometimes notice when you pronounce words with P's, B's, S's, Ch's, or Z's, Z's, it's caused your microphone to record a muffled or pop vocal. Using your Studio Series dual layer pop shield will completely take these out of your recordings. Woo! There you go. Pop filter. Put that down there. Clean that up later. I'm in the garage, so no one will complain at me for a little while anyway. So, next up, and the last thing in the box. Oh no, not the last thing in the box. The other thing I got was completely unrelated to the microphone. Is I bought myself this connects display port to display to HDMI. So the back of my PC has got 3 display ports and 1 HDMI and a DVI. So I've got 3 monitors on here now. Plus I've got the big TV up there. So I thought, well, if I use HDMI, I've got 2 display ports and the DVI, I can get all 4 connected up. So why not? So that's good. I'll set that up later on. That'll just make accessing my TV a little bit easier, because come on, it's just an HDMI cable that's flailing around waiting for me to plug it in. Right, let's move this box out of the way. So this is the Rode NT USB. Now, I spent a lot of time researching microphones. There are... Stop all the crackling noises. There are crudely 2 types. Well, there's probably more than 2 types, but there are 2 types that I looked at. This is a condenser microphone, and then the other type is called a dynamic microphone. So Rode also do a product called the Podcaster, or the Procaster, essentially very similar, which are dynamic microphones, and then they've got the condenser microphones. Now, I wasn't sure which one to get, and this may not be the right one. So it's Rode recommended the Podcaster, but every audio engineer I've spoken to has recommended the NT-USB. And given that they know my situation more than Podcaster, Rode do, I thought I would go with their recommendation, and we'll see how we get on. It's also a newer microphone than the Podcaster, but it's more important with which one works. So this is I'll get the microphone out in a minute, but it's a side address, which means that if you see the microphone here, you talk to the side here. The alternative is the Podcaster essentially is like a cylinder, and you talk to the end, so it's called an end address. So effectively, you've got the microphone here, and you're talking to the end, whereas this one, it's sort of in front of you, and you're talking to it. Obviously with the pop filter in front of it. The key benefit of a microphone like this is to get it close to you. It's what they call close miking, because then you can turn things like the gain right down, which eliminate echo from the room. So this room is brick walls, which are horrible for things like echo. So whereas a condenser mic like this is really good at picking everything up. If a pin drops at the other side of the room, it should pick it up quite nicely, which means it's going to pick up all the echo if I don't set it up right. So that's where the problem is. You're going to get the best quality sound out of this, from what I've read and seen and heard, but it takes a bit more to get it set up if you haven't got an audio treated room. Now, I could go to audio treating the room. That's another step we can go to. But let's have a look inside the box. Let's have a look outside the box. So we've got versatile studio quality USB microphone. So yes, this is a USB mic. It's not an XLR mic, which is the other option. The thing with the XLR microphones is you need to have the mixing desk. I don't have a mixing desk. If I go for a mixing desk, essentially I had a budget of around £300 for the whole thing, and including the stand, the pop filter, the microphone, and the bit that I'm missing, which I don't have at the moment, which is a shock mount, which is a bunch of elastic bands essentially that hold it and isolate any vibrations from the room, from the desk, from anything else, so the microphone doesn't pick all that stuff up. So initially I'm going to be using it without the shock mount, and then on Friday I'll do the unboxing extra for this video with the shock mount and fit that in, and then I'll be using it properly. Although this room, to be honest, there aren't too many vibrations, so the shock mount is more a formality and it's always recommended you have a shock mount, but this room isn't too bad, to be honest. So this is the empty USB. We got so you get this stand and the pop shield. So this is the little stand here, and it comes with its own pop shield, but you can't use the pop shield if it's not in this configuration, pretty much. So that's why I've got another pop shield. Got nothing on the side here, nothing particularly on the back. So time to move on to undoing silly bit of sticky stuff. Come on, that's better. Get in there. And you love that. When you labour to pull off the tape and you get the smallest bit imaginable. Right, so let's have a look at what we have in the box. Quite a decent sized box, actually, considering the microphone. I'm expecting it to be sort of that sort of size, sort of fitting in this bit here. I'm kind of wondering what all this is. I'm guessing it's things like the stand and the pop filter and packaging and product. Oh, look at this! Look at this! So we've got nice foam padding. This is the tripod. Plastic. It's quite nicely made. But it is plastic. I don't know why I was expecting metal, but it's plastic. It's got like a rubber washer here, which presumably tries to isolate some of the noise away from the microphone, but then I guess the thread is going to catch some of it. So let's put that down. I'm not going to be using it on the tripod, although I'll mount it on the tripod just for the purposes of demonstration. Cable. This is a USB cable. It's got fairly standard ends on it. So it's what they call a type A to a type B. That's the type A. That's the type B. Quite a lot of cable there, actually. I don't know how long that is, but there's quite a considerable amount of cable, which I don't really need. It's going to be plugged in right there. Oh, look at this. This is a bit posh wallet. Look at that. Rode. This is to keep it in good order. And I love Rode microphone sticker. And the obligatory manual in 4,000 languages. Well, that's not bad. 30 pages. No, it isn't. 25 pages by the looks of it. There is a diagram in here of the. Let me see if I can get it to where you can see it. So this is what they call the polar response. I don't know if that shows up. So that polar response, which looks a bit like a sort of an upside down heart, is how responsive the microphone is. So if the microphone is in the center of the graph and you're in front of it, which in this instance is at the top, then you get sort of the peak, and as you come around the side, it stays looking good. But then as you come towards the rear, you can see that it sharply tails off. So the idea being this microphone should pick up next to nothing behind it, but everything should be in front of it. So it's almost like the first 180 degrees are quite well covered, and then there's next to nothing in the rear 180 degrees. Which is perfect. I don't want anything from the rear. It is going to pick up from the side. Now if you look at the polar response for something like a dynamic microphone, it's different. It really is much more of a cone, which is really interesting. So the idea is that you'll put the microphone in this when you're not using it and keeping it. I'm not sure I should be that good, but that's the idea. And it'll also one of the other things is condenser microphones can be susceptible to spit and moisture. They don't like it because of the way they're built. So pop filters prevent a lot of the moisture from you talking getting onto the condenser anyway. But then putting it in here, I think this has got silica gel in it, which will then dry it out as well. So it should help. Right, now moving on. We have the microphone and the pop filter. Microphone is about how big I expected. It's quite heavy, but then it's got the pop filter on it as well. Activate your free extended warranty now. Right, so this is the pop filter. So if it was end addressed, you would be speaking into this bit, and side addressed, you're speaking into this bit. And this, I believe, is a side address microphone. A couple of buttons on the side, which I believe are to do with the real-time monitoring. So you can plug a headset into here and listen to exactly what the microphone is hearing in real time. In a lot of cases, what happens is the microphone goes through processing and you get it back a split second later. Now, if you've ever tried speaking when you've got audio coming back the other way and you're trying to listen to that, it completely throws you off, even if it's the tiniest of gaps. Whereas if it's pretty much instant, it doesn't throw you off at all. And the idea is this is an instant response, so you should be able to talk while listening to yourself, which means you can check volumes and so forth. And that's what these are. So this is the headset volume on the bottom, and then this is a mixer which mixes between the audio from the computer and the headset. Now, I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work until I get it plugged in, but that's kind of the idea. So, oh, I see, there's also a little plug on the bottom. I don't think you see that. There you go, that's a plug, so that you can use that to, when you're not using it, just to seal up the USB port on the bottom there. So if I pull that out, you can see the USB port there. That makes sense. It's also got the grip. This is the thread here for fitting to this, so you can fit it to the tripod. What does the picture say? Probably not like that. Let's get this box out of the way. Oh, hello. Got to tighten it all up. There's other things to tighten up here by the looks of it. Oh yes, there's another bit here to tighten up. Yeah, that's not in the right place. There you go. So that's that out of the way. This is therefore the microphone. So you can set it up with that. It's actually really sturdy. It's got rubber feet on the bottom of the stand, which mean that it's got a really nice fit to the desk, and you can sort of adjust and move things around as you wish, which is nice. So that's good, actually. That's very good. Okay, so that's the microphone. Let's put that to one side. One more box to open, and then we'll try fitting it together. And the rest, another part of this video will then be filmed with this. So I'm using the headset microphone at the moment, which is why the audio sounds awesome. Right, the stand. So Rode PSA1 studio arm. It's not a cheap arm, but it's not the most expensive by a very long way. It's the one Rode recommends. It's one that everyone recommends for a Rode microphone. And in fact, I saw a lot of people recommending this arm generally, just because Rode make really good stuff. They seem to have a very, very good reputation. I'm not a microphone expert, I should just say. My knowledge of audio is really limited, except for what I've gleaned from spending far too long researching microphones. Learning all sorts of things about microphones. Before I do that, let's just take this off and let's have a quick look around the outside here. So, what we got? PSA1 studio arm, professional way to mount your microphone to a workshop or studio desk. Rotates 360 degrees, 3/8 inch thread adapter, holds up to 2 kilograms, 2 desk mounting options, and 2-axis swivel mount. I think the desk mounting options are for the, because you can drill a hole in the desk or you can just clamp, and I'm just going to use the clamp. Incidentally, I mentioned the podcaster mic, which is that one. And you can see that sort of angled thing that it's inside, that's the shock mount. So it's sort of like a springy thing. It'll just sit there, isolating itself. Is there anything else of note? Nope, the other side is just to copy that one. Put that down in the ever-growing pile of rubbish. So, let's have a look at the arm. What have we got in here then? That looks like the arm. Then on the other side, we've got bolts and sort of a whole lot of nothing there. Instructions. Don't need those. I'm a man, I don't know. I don't need instructions. Not until I'm sitting there crying on the floor going, I don't know what to do. And my wife says, did you read the instructions? No. I don't read instructions. Well, let's have a look at the instructions then. Step 1, do this. Oh, I didn't do that. Right. You know what? Making too much noise. That's clearly not going to go back in there anytime soon. I'll clean up the rubbish later, promise. Okay, what have we got here? This looks like screws on the floor. Right. This looks like a thread adjuster, so this looks like it will adjust the thread of the thing. We'll find out that in a minute. So this is one of the mount options. Put that in the rubbish pile. So this is the idea being that you clamp it to your desk and then you've got this quite nice bit on the top. Right, let's put that there. What have we got here? This one looks like it will probably go, or possibly, yeah, it's got the same fitting as that. What I suspect is that that goes into your desk, so that all you see on the top of your desk is that, and then you put the mount into the top of that, and then you just tighten it up with the bolt at the bottom. So at the moment, at least, I'm certainly not planning on using that. So we'll put that back. It's packaged up rather thoroughly. There's lots of nice little bits of little touches of packaging designed to stop everything rubbing together or flailing about. It says caution, spring loaded. It could be fun. I can see a catapult in my future. That'd be the bit that goes inside the mount then, I imagine. Yeah, like that. Good, good. So we've got a couple of these here. Right, before we go any further, and I irreversibly undo that, let's check the instructions. Sometimes I am stupid enough to read instructions. Okay. Unscrew the clamp so that the opening is large enough to fit over the edge of your table. Push the clamp in, fasten it. So basic clamping stuff then. Make sure the clamp fits flush. Insert the arm into the hole. Mounting via the drill insert. Yes, that is a drill insert. Drill a big old hole, put the what's it in, bolt it down. But they don't talk about anything else, so let's have at it and catapult time. Hey, sellotape. Oh, it's a very, very relaxed cylinder. So that was the sign. What's left of it. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Not quite as relaxed as I thought it was. Here we go. Okay, that's awesome. So what I need to do, let's just put that somewhere like that. And what I'm going to do is fix this. Just moved the camera, didn't I? Never mind. Hashtag professionalism. Over here. Right, now, I put that here, you can't see it. I'm going to put this in the hole. Wow, you can sort of feel it, how it's, what I don't get at the moment is you sort of, how that's supposed to work. Maybe it's better when it's got a microphone plugged into it. I think actually it's supposed to go the other way around. No, can't possibly go the other way around on account of it won't go that way round. Right, so we have an arm. And we need a microphone. So since I'm not using the pop filter for this, let's undo this. Talk amongst yourselves. Put that back on there. Essentially, it's not the arm that means I can't use the pop filter. It's the shock mount that means I can't use the pop filter, if I remember rightly. Let's take that and then take that off, and we'll pull this down here. We need to put that in on there. Oh, this is looking good. So what I need to do, I think, is get it in the right place. And I have no idea what that is until I actually start using it. If I switch it sideways like that, see how we get on with sideways, and then clamp it by securing this bit in here. I don't think I've done that right, but usage will tell me. Now the pop filter goes here. Not entirely sure how to lock that at the moment. Oh, that seems to... No, that doesn't seem to be doing the job. Okay, I'm probably just not mounting it in a very sensible way, to be honest. Never mind. So we have the pop filter, which I haven't finished securing on yet. And that's now on there. And if this would be kind enough to turn around, so let's move that so it's that way around and move the microphone around so that we're not fighting gravity, because fighting gravity just never ends well. Put the pop filter here, and now we've got a microphone. all we need to do now is plug it in. So let's do that. We've got cable. I have no idea what's going to happen when I plug this in. Don't know how OBS is going to react to this at all. So remember what the audio sounds like right now. And I'm just going to plug it into the front port just to make life a bit easier for now. It's actually got cable ties or these Velcro wraps to here that you can travel the cable through. So I'm going to do that. So I want to pull out enough cable to do that. Put that cable in there. Oh, look at that. From where it was just springing before, this has added the perfect amount of weight to it. To where it's... obviously you move it like that. You are going to need to adjust the pop filter. But that's nice. I can just put that wherever I want it to go. Now that the cable's all strapped in, that's not going to cause any problems. Ha-ha-de-ha. It's the famous last words if ever I heard it. And we'll plug it in and see what it does. Where everyone's saying, no, install something. No, it's not supposed to need to install anything. It's supposed to just plug and play. This looks like it's this is one of the other things that came in the pack. This is a essentially, if I understand this correctly, you would put it around the thread here, and it would give you a larger thread for a different kind of microphone. So we have a microphone. Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum. There is supposed to be a light there. That's not doing anything. That's just the headset volume. That looks good. So, have I got anything new shown up on recording devices? No, I haven't. Oh, it fell out. Nah. Right, Rode NT USB. It just occurred to me, having seen that on the screen, it looks like it says rodent USB. So, interesting. Audio is, I can't see where it's coming into on here at the moment. It's coming in through the, it says it's the default device, so I've no idea what it's actually recording. Hold on. Right, so at the moment, OBS is recording from the Sound Blaster, which is this thing. So, has this updated? It has updated. So let's see what happens. Just as it stands, if I switch over to the rodent USB, the Rode NT USB. Right, let's see what happens. Okay, so I've switched over to the rodent. I've switched over to the Rode NT USB now. I don't know if that's actually done the job. Now I think I've switched over to it. You have to press the apply on that for it to take effect. And so let's see how the recording quality is on this. Okay, running a test now just with the desktop audio turned up a little bit with the music playing and the microphone gain turned up a little bit. Let's just see how that sounds. Hi again, everyone. So it's Friday, skip forward a couple of days, and the microphone, which I'm using right now, has been on the stream for 2 streams now, and so far so good. Running really, really well. Very impressed with the output and getting a lot of really positive comments back from viewers, which is really good to hear. I have made one software change, which I'll go through at the end of this video, but overall, really impressed with the microphone. It's very, very good indeed. earlier on in this video, I said that there was an extra bit that's missing from this, which is called a shock mount. But at the moment, if I tap this, you can hear any movement over here. You can hear them all. You can hear all these movements on the microphone, and so the idea is to isolate the microphone. Even if I tap the desk, yeah, it's all getting, because it's all one rigid mount. Any vibration anywhere will make its way into the microphone. The condenser, being the sensitive microphone that it is, will pick all that stuff up very diligently. So shock mount isolates it from all of that stuff, or insulates it from that stuff. So I've got my trusty way of opening boxes here. Again, make sure you use a key that you don't care, because you're going to use keys to do this. You're going to blunt the ends off your keys or snap it or something, and you find, oh, that was my house key. Oh, oops. So this is a key that doesn't do anything anymore. Well, I imagine it will unlock something, but whether that something still exists, I don't know. Right. Let's just get that in there. So yeah, this is it's been behaving really, really well, actually. I've been really impressed with it. It's surprisingly easy to set up. I thought that being the more sensitive of the two, because remember I talked about the podcaster mic, which is a dynamic mic, and the NT USB, this one, which is a condenser, and the condensers are super sensitive. And I thought it would make it more difficult to get it set up and so forth. But actually it hasn't been very hard at all. And I mean, I'm not an audio person, so then if you've got any sort of audio skill at all, then I imagine it's significantly easier. Okay, what we got in here? There it is. The SMR shock mount, which is the one that they recommend for the NT USB. Ironically, it's not the one that Amazon recommended when you buy the NT USB. They recommend a different one. But when I went onto Rode's website, and I have to chuck that somewhere else. When I went onto Rode's website, they recommended this one for the NT USB. So we'll see how it goes. So here it is. SMR shock mount with removable pop shield. I've no idea whether I don't need a pop shield, but I guess we'll have a look at this one, and we'll look at the pop shield it comes with. Maybe I'll prefer the pop shield it comes with. Lyre-based suspension, all metal pop shield, integrated cable management, and microphone locking nut not included. That's because I've got the microphone locking nut. It's right here on the back of the microphone, so that's fine. It says compatible with the following microphones, and none of them is the NT USB. See how we get on with that. Probably just out of date packaging, because the NT USB is a much newer microphone. But it is a load of NT range microphones. So, and you know what? I kind of hope that Rode equipment is compatible with Rode equipment. One thing that they do commonly, when I was looking at reviews, one thing that commonly came up was these knobs along the side here will become more difficult to access once you put it in a shock mount. And to be honest, what I've found is playing with this, I don't use it. I'm going back to using the normal PC for the output to me, and I'm using the mixer on the computer. Because what I found was that if I was using this, I wasn't going to get what was actually being heard. Now I'm using it incorrectly, but I couldn't. And for my particular usage with streaming, I couldn't quite see how this actually helped. I love the idea of having it there, and I can see that there are circumstances where having that real-time monitor is really good. And when I told my wife, who she's into podcasting and so forth, she really liked the idea of the real-time monitor going on there. So I know her family history is in music as well, so that's good. So anyway, stop waffling and get unboxing, shall we? So I need to open that up. Let's put that there. Can't get in there. Gotta love it when they make the lips slightly bigger to stop it coming out accidentally, and then you can't get it out. without half destroying the box. Yeah, it's actually bigger than the hole, so it's not designed to come out. There you go. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Oh, look at that. There's not a lot in the box, really, by the looks of it. Nicely packaged, similar to the sort of... Let's get them shock mount out. That's the pop shield. It's got a washer of some sort. Let's get the box out of the way, free up what we can do in some manual now. Right, let's put the box somewhere else. So, I have a quick start guide. I don't know if that's coming up on there. This camera's not very good, but it's all I've got at the moment, so apologies. Let's have a look at quick start guide. Let's go against everything. So here and compare Rode microphones at rodemic.com/soundbooth or on your iPad. Don't have an iPad. Don't want an iPad. Right. That tells you how to fit it all together. Again, I don't know if that's coming up. There you go. What else have we got here? We have got... That looks like a locking nut, funnily enough. It's interesting. It's quite heavy. Put that up there. This looks like a pop filter. Oh, that's nice. It's double layered metal pop filter. That's very nice. I should definitely give that a shot. If I hadn't had to buy this, that's a doll, but never mind. Okay, so this is the shock mount. So the way it works is that you can see that the microphone will attach to this bit at the back here. This bit, you can see the thread here, goes onto the stand, and then the microphone is suspended with these here. So it's actually it's not physically attached. Only vibrations get absorbed by these springs, for want of a better word, which means that hopefully, well, you know, when you tap the microphone like this, all of that stuff will get absorbed by the springs. Now, one of the things that I read about, and the reason I've stuck with just all Rode kit, and you try and get the right shock mount, because you can just get a generic shock mount, and so reading up on the detail of how shock mounts work is that, so a shock mount's not going to protect everything. But there's a particular range that you want to try and guard against, essentially, or to isolate yourself from, and it's all down to the whole thing being balanced. So if you imagine you've got all of these springs here and you put the microphone in, if the microphone is not balanced for the springs, and you know the way how you see how far back that is, if it was a bit further back, that's going to change the dynamic of the of this. If the microphone is more front weighted or rear weighted or whatever, that's going to change how this is, which means the frequency response or whatever it is going to get affected. A lot of the guidance was that I read on the internet, watched on YouTube videos, was to make, because balance is important. And that's why I've gone with. So this is the one that Rode recommend for the NT USB. Therefore, has to be, you know, the closest I can get to being balanced and to guess. It looks like that's where the filter will go. Yeah, kind of. I'll fit it properly in a minute. Okay, right, so I'm going to have to stop the video now. Mess about with the camera. You don't want to hear that. That's awful. Not the camera. Why do I keep calling this a camera? Mess about with the microphone. Put this in, and I'll be back shortly, and we'll see what it looks like. I imagine it's going to look even more bulky. All right then, see you shortly. Right, so it's all fitted, and one thing I've found is that the combined thing is so heavy that, and because I've got the pop filter on here, I need the microphone,
this whole unit would have to be essentially hanging on all of the joints and so forth, and I couldn't do it up tight enough that it wouldn't keep flopping down. So I've adjusted it to a vertical orientation, lifted it up a little bit, and it seems to be doing okay. I'll have to see how that looks when I've got the camera pointing in front of me and adjust the height of it and see. So it's not quite as convenient. I've got the cable. It's just right down here now, which isn't quite so good. I've still got the pop filter. The old pop filter is still here. I'm still deciding which way I go, but this is quite good. I'll run some other audio tests and see how I get on. Maybe I'll change over one or the other. But so what does this mean? You'll notice the microphone is now suspended. It's separate. And in theory, if I hopefully the effect of those has been less than it was previously. This whole setup may need some tuning. In fact, it probably does. Part of the problem, of course, is I'm not, as I said, I'm over and over again, I'm not an audio guy. So there's a lot of stuff here that I'm just figuring out. So that's the microphone. It's all now complete. It's unboxed. It's installed, and I'm using it. So I might change this around. One option is I might take this pop filter off and then assemble it so that I can use the other pop filter and angle it back on so that it was previous to where it was on its side. But we'll see how this goes. Until I hear this recording, for example, I have no idea how this sounds, whether it sounds better, worse, or not that any different. Right, so that's it. We're all installed. We're up and running. Microphone is here, just down here. And so far, so good. I'm having a little bit of trouble figuring out some of the software stuff I was talking about showing you. I'm going to do that in another video now. No, it's good. The microphone is excellent. It's clearly got the capabilities that I need to actually to get the audio where it needs to be. Now I've got to step up and figure out how to get the best out of the audio, and balance it with the game, get it all happening real time in the stream. Where's that audio degree? Anyway, thanks very much for watching. You've got a good look at all of the products that I'm using and all the unboxings and setups for them all. So I hope that was interesting for you. If you've got any comments, do leave them below. If you like the video, don't forget to press like. And if you want to see more from me, video game commentary videos from streaming, and any other videos that I do, then don't forget to press subscribe. Alright then folks, thanks very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you again on the next video. Bye bye.